What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and I just watched UFC Macau, and what a great event this was. Lots of finishes on the card, lots of great performances, and let's talk about it. In the main event, we had Yadong submitting Deiveson Figueiredo with a guillotine, and he was in control the whole fight. He wasn't really in any danger. Figueiredo, as usual, was pretty tentative, really patient, and he wasn't really doing too much. Deiveson, he was staying really patient, and Yadong was winning the fight by landing some leg kicks on the outside, landing a couple crosses here and there whenever he had the chance to get close, and he was also starting to find the jab as the fight went on. And then, he was also defending all the takedowns from Figueiredo in the lead-up. Figgy kept on talking about how he needs to trust his grappling, but in this fight, he did try to grapple, but he was getting defended every time. The only time where he had control time was when Yadong slipped for a head kick, and then Figgy got some control time, and he was in Song's full guard, and it was 20 seconds, so Figgy couldn't really do much. But then in the second round, again, Song's defending the takedowns, landing some good shots, and eventually Figgy gets deep on a takedown attempt, and Yadong, he goes to the Armin guillotine, and obviously he trains with Faber, who's really known for that move, and he was able to get it. And good performance from Yadong. I think he should fight the winner of Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista. If Sandhagen wins, it's a great rematch, and if Batista wins, then it's a fresh matchup. But either way, I think this puts Yadong in a good position. And again, he had that close fight with O'Malley that could have gone his way, but now he's back on a winning streak, and I think, that fight will be good for him. Or maybe an Umar Nurmagomedov fight, but I feel Umar at this point, he should have fought Sean O'Malley, but he should probably fight the winner of O'Malley and Zahabi next. But then in the co-main event, we had Alonzo Menifield knocking out Zhang Mingyang in his hometown, and this was crazy. I thought Zhang Mingyang would have this done, just like I thought he would be Johnny Walker, but no, he fumbles again in his home, and he gets knocked out. It seems like he's not doing too bad early on. He's looking for the left head kicks quite a bit, to shut down the right hand of Alonzo Menifield, and it's not too bad, right? And he's also landing some decent shots here and there, but at the same time, Menifield is staying in there. He's also landing some good shots of his own, and he's able to clinch him up, nullify the power a little bit. Menifield is able to grab Mingyang, and it seems like Mingyang is starting to breathe hard, and eventually Alonzo Menifield starts landing some big shots on Zhang Mingyang, hurting him, dropping him even, and he gets to finish. And this was, again, surprising. I was expecting Zhang Mingyang to win. This is his hometown, and again, he loses in back-to-back. He was given a main event here, now a co-main event, and he loses again. Not good luck for him, but Menifield is going to be moved up the rankings because a lot of light heavyweights are moving to heavyweight, and I think a good matchup would be maybe a Dominic Reyes fight, because when you look at the rankings, they're close, and Reyes is coming off a bit of a controversial win. And I think, that would be a pretty fun fight. But Mingyang, I don't know what to say for this guy. Losing back-to-back is in his home. Definitely not good. And getting finished twice, definitely not good. But we'll see what the future holds for him. But then we had Sergey Pavlovich knocking out Thaleson Teixeira in one round. And this finally felt like a vintage Sergey Pavlovich performance before he got knocked out by Tom Aspinall. He was on a 6-5 win streak, and all those were first-round KOs. He was knocking out Curtis Blades in the first round, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. He was beating people up right away and showing them, barely any respect. But he got KO'd. Then you could see that, you cannot fight the same. It does take something out of you. But also, he was fighting, skilled fighters like Volkov. But then he was able to bounce back against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and he also beat Waldo Cortez Acosta, which is a great win. And then he just goes out here and shows no respect to Teixeira, who is not ready for this moment. I mean, Teixeira, this was his third UFC fight, I think, or no, fourth UFC fight. And the thing is, the UFC keeps trying to rush him up the ranks, but I think they would benefit from slowing down and actually building this guy up properly. He goes out, he had his first fight against Junior Tafa. Great performance. Then he's supposed to fight Derek Lewis. He gets knocked out, and that should be a lesson. Oh, let's slow down a little bit. Let's build this guy up slowly. I know the heavyweight division is pretty bad right now, But like some of these guys are like still tough to beat. They're still at the top for a reason. And yeah, like the UFC just kept trying to rush him. Like the Tai Tuivasa fight was good progression, but he didn't look good in that fight. Like he was gassing out. It was like pretty sloppy. And Tai Tuivasa, like at this point, any heavyweight beats him, right? So it's like after that fight, I'm not convinced that he should go in there against a top 5 opponent. And Sergey showed that like there is levels, and I think he should have been like built up a lot slower. Now he just got knocked down in 2 of his fights. And like who knows where his chin's gonna be. Like getting knocked out of heavyweight is never a good sign. But this was a good win for Sergey Pavlovich, and he's in a bit of an awkward situation because above him is Volkov, who beat him, and Volkov is making a case for a title shot, but so is Pavlovich. And the problem is now we're finally getting some activity in the heavyweight division. Like the problem for so long was that the division wasn't as active, and now that there's multiple contenders, like we need the champion to come back. We need these fights to like get going, because now the problem is like we have the interim title fight, and they're probably gonna fight Aspinall in like October and November, and that's like only like one undisputed heavyweight title fight for the whole year, which kind of sucks. But then now you have Eddie Hearn talking about how he wants to like have the UFC release Tom Aspinall. So is Tom Aspinall even gonna fight again in the UFC? Like what the hell is going on there? But we need some activity, and overall this was a solid performance from Sergey Pavlovich. And then we had another first round KO as Kai Asakura knocked out Cameron Smotherman in the first round, and he looked great in this weight class. He looked fast, he looked explosive, and he like had more variety on the feet. He was giving a lot of different looks to Cameron, and Cameron just couldn't keep up. Like he eventually got caught, I believe it was a right hook by like the cage. Like Kai Asakura was able to get him like to back up. He was tagging him with some big shots, and then he got him up against the fence, caught him with a clean punch on the jaw, and he was able to get his KO. Like, and that was what was expected of Kai Asakura ever since he came from Rising. And to be honest, I think he made the right decision, like moving up to this bantamweight division, because in Rising, like the flyweight division is 135 pounds, and he was fighting in the flyweight division at 125 pounds, but that was not his natural weight, and he performed so much better here. And obviously it's not like against a guy on the level of a Pantoja or Tim Elliott, but he was able to go out there and get a much needed win and a much needed KO to really bring that stock back up and get that hype that he once had. But then we had Jake Matthews beating Carlston Harris, and this was a solid performance from Jake Matthews, like very dominant, and it was expected. You know, Carlston Harris came in here on short notice, but Jake Matthews looked great on the feet. He was outboxing Carlston Harris, and it seemed like Carlston wasn't really fighting with his like to the full potential of his range. Like he was getting like outboxed, and like Matthews was able to catch him coming in, and it looked like he was the longer fighter when it was the opposite. And obviously on the ground, he had a massive advantage. He was like doing damage on the ground, looking for submissions. And yeah, he just looked great. He even had a 10-8 in the third round because he like dropped Carlston Harris really badly. And then he was looking for submissions. And yeah, like pretty much like he had like 4 minutes of control time in that round. And yeah, Jake Matthews has been looking really good lately ever since like, I believe 2024 when he beat Phil Rowe. And he had like 2 good wins in 2025. And then he obviously had that loss to Neil Magny, but he was close to winning that one. And now he's back on a win. And I think his next fight could be against Muslim Salikov, the guy he was supposed to fight. And I think that would be an interesting matchup for Jake Matthews. But then we had Sumadarji versus Alex Perez. And unfortunately, it ends in a low blow. Like, no contest. It sucks because this fight was pretty fun. Like, the first round had lots of good exchanges. And then the second round, like, it seemed like Sumadarji was really picking up. He dropped Alex Perez really badly. He was, like, doing a lot better at his range. Like in the first round, he didn't really have too much output. Like, he was evading a lot of the shots from Alex Perez, like, making sure he's not getting caught by anything. But then, unfortunately, because he's a southpaw and Perez is an orthodox, like, he kicks kind of, like, towards the leg, and unfortunately, it goes, like, to a low blow, and it just ends. And I think the UFC should try to book this fight again. Like, it's a good matchup, and it was a good fight as long as it lasts. But yeah, unfortunate to see a fight end in a foul like that. But overall, this was a really, really great card. Very fun fights and lots of finishes. And yeah, just exciting. And now it's time to watch the Champions League final between PSG and Arsenal. But for all that being said, thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.